Today I will be showing you 3 different techniques that you can use to decorate some really fun, really creative Halloween cupcakes. These eyeball cupcakes are one of the easiest and quickest cupcakes to make. To make these spooky eyeball cupcakes, you'll need red jam, red fondant, red frosting, large eyeball candies, blue fondant, black food coloring, red food coloring, powdered sugar, a toothpick or skewer, a small circle cutter and a large circle cutter, a rolling pin, paint brushes in a few different sizes, and, of course, cupcakes. If you want to make these cupcakes easier, you can just use the large eyeball candies as they are. Just leave them be. They'll still look great underneath the fondant. But if you want to add that added flair, which I recommend, we'll show you how to paint them. Flip the eyeball to the back. Roll a tiny piece of blue fondant and press the circle into the center of the candy. Next, use black food coloring and a small paintbrush to paint a black dot in the center of the blue fondant. Finish the eyeball by drawing some squiggly lines with red food coloring around the white part of the circle for eyeball veins. Next, dust a flat surface with powdered sugar and roll out your red fondant. We're using red fondant today to create that spooky eyeball effect, but you can use any color you'd like, really. If you want to use green, you could do like a Frankenstein eyeball, or you could even use blue and do the sea monster effect. Use the large circle cutter to cut out the fondant. Discard the excess fondant. Use a small knife to make an inch slit in the center of each fondant circle. Then make a smaller, perpendicular cut on the bottom center cut. This smaller line should only be about a ½ centimeter long. Now assemble your cupcake. First, use the small circle cutter to remove the center of the cupcake. Fill the divot with jam. Top the center of the cupcake with some red buttercream. Place the eyeball in the very center of the cupcake on top of the buttercream. Layer the fondant on top of the eyeball, allowing the slit to rest over the eyeball. Gently use your fingers to peel back the small slit to create a creepy, realistic effect. Use a damp paintbrush to get rid of any remaining powdered sugar. With a toothpick, create skin lines in the cupcake. Add some final touches of jam for a bloody effect. These eyeball cupcakes are super easy to make and super spooky. These ghost meringue cupcakes take a little bit more time and effort, but the end result is totally worth it. To make these ghost meringue cupcakes, you'll need 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, a ½ teaspoon cream of tartar, a pinch of salt, 1 cup of sugar, 4 eggs, an electric mixer, black food coloring, black luster dust, a paintbrush, and some graveyard candies if you'd like. Start by making your meringue. In a large bowl, add egg whites. Make sure you're using egg whites without any yolk. If you have yolk in your egg whites, it won't work. Cream of tartar and salt. Beat on medium speed until just foamy. Very gradually add your sugar, beating on high until all the sugar has been added and the meringue forms stiff peaks. Fold in the vanilla extract. Spoon the meringue into a piping bag with a round tip. Pipe the meringue onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Try to pipe the shapes in one long line. Make some small and make some big. It's okay if they aren't perfect. The different shapes give your meringue ghost personality and character. Bake the meringues for 2 hours and 20 minutes at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Check on them starting at about 2 hours just to make sure they aren't getting brown. If you want to mix it up and create a different shape aside from ghosts, try pumpkins or witch hats. Allow the meringue to cool to room temperature before painting the faces onto your meringues using black food coloring and a small tipped paintbrush. Assemble your cupcakes. Top the cupcake with some black frosting. Dust the frosting with black luster dust. Add your ghost meringues to the top, along with the graveyard candies. And that's it, you're all set. These ghost meringue cupcakes are really yummy, really tasty, and totally kid-friendly. These skull crystal ball cupcakes are a little bit trickier to make, but they definitely take your Halloween cupcakes to the next level. To make these crystal ball cupcakes, you'll need 2 packets of unflavored gelatin, 4 tablespoons cold water, Crisco, little balloons. I found balloons with straws attached that actually work really well for this project, a piece of foam board, skewers, white fondant, gold luster dust, colorful round candies, purple frosting, and green frosting. To start, combine the 2 packets of gelatin with 4 tablespoons cold water. Allow the mixture to set and firm up for about 5 minutes. Microwave the mixture for 10 to 20 seconds until it's completely melted. Scoop the foam off the top of the gelatin mixture with a spoon and allow it to cool to room temperature. You want the mixture to still be liquid, but not so warm that it will pop the balloon. It's important to use unflavored gelatin when you're making your crystal balls. Inflate the balloons and coat them with a very thin layer of Crisco. I did this just using my fingers. Dip the balloons in gelatin, coating every part except the tie. Skewer the balloons in the foam board to allow them to dry for about 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, dip the balloons into the gelatin mixture again. The gelatin may have hardened by this point. If so, simply microwave it again for 10 to 20 seconds until just melted. It's important to do 2 coats of gelatin so that your crystal ball is more durable. Allow the gelatin-coated balloons to dry overnight. To create the fondant skulls, roll out a ball of white fondant that's about 1 inch in diameter. Pinch the bottom to create the chin of your skull. Make the eye holes with the end of a paintbrush. Make the nose and the teeth with a toothpick or skewer. Sprinkle the skull with luster dust and allow it to dry overnight. Once the gelatin balloons have dried completely, use scissors to carefully cut and remove the balloon. Cut the bottom of the gelatin crystal ball until it's the size you'd like for the cupcake. I cut mine down about half. I was really surprised by how durable these gelatin crystal balls ended up being, but you'll definitely want to be careful when handling them. But you can easily cut them with scissors and make them the shape that you'd like to go on top of your cupcakes. Assemble the cupcake with purple and green frosting. Add the frosting in circular drops over the cupcake to create a bubbled look. Add colorful candies to the edges of the cupcake to complete the look. Place a fondant skull in the center of the cupcake and cover it with a gelatin crystal ball. These crystal ball cupcakes take a little bit more time, but they are definitely over the top and impressive for Halloween. These cupcakes are so fun and so festive, and they are definitely a great way to make it a happy Halloween. You can make these cupcakes whatever flavor you'd like, although it is fall, so why not make them pumpkin spice flavored? If you want to learn how to make your own pumpkin spice at home, check out our video right over here.